All right, team, welcome to problem 1.35, where we get to write each vector in this beautiful figure in component form. Yay! All right, so let's start with A. So we already did A and B in the last two problems, but we're going to do it again. So A is straight down, so there is no x component. There's no I hat. It's straight down, so that's a negative 8.00 meters in the y or j hat direction. So vectors that align with your axes are the best because they're really easy. Okay, let's go pink for B. B. Okay, so B is our nice 15 meters long here with an angle of 30 degrees here. So we have a hypotenuse of 15 meters, and we want to figure out what's the length of our legs if this is 30. Now, I would like to point out that 30 degrees is not measured from the positive x-axis. So x component is not cosine. The x component over here is the opposite angle. So that's going to be the sine of that angle. So sine of 30 degrees is opposite. So that's going to be our x component over hypotenuse, which is our 15 meters. So our x component is going to be 15 meters, multiplying that to the other side, times the sine of 30 degrees. Cool, cool. Similarly, our y is going to be cosine. So 15.0 meters cosine of 30 degrees. So this is I hat, and this is j hat. Now, B is pointing to the right, so that's positive x, and it's pointing up, so that's positive y. So now if we simplify these a little bit, sine of 30 is a half times 15. It's going to be 7.5 meters I hat, and 15 cosine 30. I've put this in the calculator like 10 times now. You'd think I'd remember, but of course I don't. So plus 13 meters j hat. Okay. All right, now we're getting into some new territory. Now we get C. So C, our 25 degrees is measured from here. So our x component is going to be the cosine because that's adjacent to that angle. So that's going to be our 12 meters cosine of 25 degrees I hat, but it's pointing left. That is the negative x direction. So you should get a negative number. You're also welcome to use the cosine of 25 plus 180. You should get the same thing, but it's best to double check because your calculator can't tell the difference between first and third quadrant. So if it's pointing left, it's a negative x component. If it's pointing down, it's a negative y component, which this one is also conveniently pointing down. So it's going to be a negative 12 meters sine of 25 j hat. All right, so if we punch this in, 12 cosine of 25 is 10.8 9 meters I hat, and 12 sine 25 is 5.07 minus 5.07 meters j hat. Okay. Orange. So now for D, so now our angle is this 53 degrees over here. So our x component again is the opposite of that angle this time. So that's going to be sine again. So that's going to be our 10 meters sine of 53 degrees. I hat, it's pointing left, so that's a minus. And then our y direction is going to be 10 meters. Now we're looking at the adjacent, so that's going to be cosine of 53 degrees, j hat, and that's pointing up, so that's going to be plus. So 10 sine 53 is going to be negative 8 meters plus 10 cosine 53, 6.02 meters j hat. Okie doke. Alrighty. That's the end.